What's up, everybody? Back again with another episode of Punch Podcast. My name is Jamil.
I'm Sid.
We are coming to you after Night of Champions. Our last episode, if you didn't check it out, we were talking about a little bit of a preview for Night of Champions, what we kind of saw coming on, what we wanted to happen, what we feared might happen. And then now we are having another follow-up episode to talk about what actually went down and give our thoughts.
Right. Yeah, so we watched last week's SmackDown, Night of Champions, and this Monday's Raw. And we're going to do a quick recap. We're going to keep it light on what happened in SmackDown because you get the results that happen in Night of Champions and Raw. But I'm really excited at what these new storylines are happening now. It's pretty exciting. Do you feel that way?
We're going into SummerSlam right now.
Yeah.
Which, I guess is kind of like the halfway point in the season. So coming off of sort of like the hype of Mania and then what that build was and then all of our storylines that kind of concluded and came to a head at Mania, now we're going to kind of do that one more time with the second biggest PLE of the year.
Yeah.
So this should be good. I mean, this is it's supposed to be the next best thing after Mania, with a lot of big storylines, a lot of really good matches. First 2-night SummerSlam. So we should be getting and expecting a similar level of quality to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, after WrestleMania, I was really cautious of these new storylines and couldn't really put my finger on if I liked them or not. And I feel like after this Night of Champions, we have really solidified these storylines that have made me like, okay, I'm really excited for SummerSlam now.
Yeah, it should be good. So what we'll do is we'll talk about the SmackDown, which was the day before Night of Champions, and then Night of Champions, and then this Raw. So
yep.
Sydney's got the notes again. Her notes are even better this time. We've got everything. We just watched a little recap. Okay, our producer is trying to play with my thoughts.
She's trying to alert you about something.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll let you take it away. Give us let's talk about SmackDown. So how did it start out, or what do your notes kind of say? We don't have to go in order necessarily.
Okay. All right. So let's start with our new women's American champion.
US champion.
And that is our Italian princess, Giulia. And she beats, sadly, one of my faves, short queen, Zelina.
Yeah, this was interesting. I mean, it kind of gave up the vibe right away that Giulia was going to kind of win,
Really?
I can't pinpoint. Maybe if I watched it again, I could kind of pinpoint the things that tipped me off. But it became sort of clear early on in the match that she was going to win. And I'm not exactly sure if there's a reason why they wanted to take it off Zelina so quickly. But I don't mind it. I think, introducing new superstars on the roster, you want them to kind of get ahead of steam right away and be involved in some good storylines. I think putting a championship on them almost right away is pretty bold, but clearly they believe in Giulia.
Yeah.
She's been pretty good so far. And I don't mind it. I mean, it's the SmackDown Women's Mid-Card Championship. I think maybe not a lot of people, since this is a newer title, are expecting too much out of this. I know people were upset when Chelsea lost it, but I think Chelsea was a good first champion. And having these shorter title reigns is sort of like a more welcome, refreshing thing, with the main championships having such long reigns. I like to see championships change hands. It's exciting. So I think this mid-card is a good place to do it.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right, quickly next, we have Tiffy versus Nia Jax.
In the last women's standing match.
Oh, yeah. Was that a street fight?
No, it's so it's like no disqualifications.
Oh, okay.
If that's what you mean. Street fight is like a different kind of match that they've been doing a lot of for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why street fights are so common now.
Well, this episode, I remember watching this fight and they were showing the commercial at the same time and we were like, wait. Go back. Someone just like threw out a table.
Yeah, they were doing crazy
The
stuff.
katana.
Yeah, they're doing crazy stuff during the picture in a katana.
Is
They're
that what
doing,
it is? Yeah.
it wasn't. No, it was like a kendo stick, I think.
Oh, I can.
Excuse me. They were doing like crazy stuff during the picture-in-picture commercial.
Yeah.
It was super weird. I was like, this is like the best part of the match. What's happening?
Yeah.
But did
Old
anything?
friends. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know what really happened. Something might be relevant later, but Tiffy wins.
they fought so many times at this point.
Yeah.
Did anything? I'm sort of forgetting already. Did anything kind of screwy happen? I know that Naomi came out and was like threatening to cash in or something.
No, I don't think so. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, well, Tiffany wins.
Yeah.
She needs to just hopefully this like they just move on. Like Tiffany versus Naya, like
Yeah.
all the time is just kind of boring.
Yeah. All right. Well, next we have the Street Profits versus the Wyatts in tag team matches. And this got pretty crazy. Should I? You want me to?
Yeah, you can talk about it.
Well, all I have to say is at the end, basically every tag team comes out and like brawls out, and the whole match gets like an interference like call, right?
Yeah, they like teased it with the other tag teams backstage, like conspiring, like why do the Wyatts get a tag team like championship match so quickly? So then you kind of like got the sense that maybe they would come out and do something. But yeah, I guess it's like a good way to protect the Wyatts. Like you don't want them to lose. You also don't want them to get the championship too quickly before anybody really knows who they are. The audience gets too familiar with them. It's both too early for them to get the championship and both too early for them to lose. My suggestion would be don't have them fight for the tag team championships then if you don't want to have a real match out of it. But I guess they're just trying to add to like the kind of excitement that's building around this really competitive tag division with all these tag teams putting on really good performances all the time. They just want to keep adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty funny because there were so many of them. And
Yeah,
I was
there's
like,
so
what's
many guys in
happening?
the ring.
Yeah. Anything else besides the main event that you're going to talk about?
No?
For SmackDown?
I think that's it.
Well, lastly, we have at the end of the episode, CM Punk comes out, or Cena's already in the ring. CM Punk comes out as John Cena's persona, right?
Yeah, he comes out as like old word life John Cena.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny because John Cena ripped off the pipe bomb last week. So then now CM Punk is ripping off of John Cena's old gimmick.
Yeah.
And people like remember that era of John Cena very fondly. It's before he became Super Cena and got that major push where he was unbeatable. That was kind of like what I remember him as a younger kid.
Really? Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny. He came out. He had the drug free on his knuckles, and he started like rapping, like he was talking like in rhymes.
Yeah.
And he was shouting out a couple of things. He was saying, I would be mad too if the company hired my ex. Taking a dig at him about Nikki Bella.
Oh, nice.
And he said a couple other things that I'm forgetting right now, but it was pretty funny. It was funny to see Punk with like a backwards hat and a jersey and rapping like 2004 John Cena.
Yeah. You should insert a picture of it because it's pretty.
We'll put a
fun.
picture,
yeah. And I don't know that John Cena at all, really. But I thought it was interesting. What did John Cena's knuckles say?
I'm pretty sure they used to say like word life, I think.
Yeah.
They might have said like he might have had a couple different iterations. He used to call his fans the Chain Gang. He had a couple of different things that were really funny. But once he had "You Can't See Me," he pretty much never changed his like catchphrase from "You Can't See Me."
Nice. All right. Well, should we get into Night of Champions?
Let's talk about Night of Champions.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is actually in order of the matches. Yeah. So tell us how Night of Champions started out. What was the opening match?
Yes. So Night of Champions starts out with, I guess, the second most exciting match that was most anticipated, and that is Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Um,
For what? What was the?
oh, are they for King of the Ring? Yes. All right, then. King of the Ring.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so everybody in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, right, was very excited to see Randy. And it
Hmm.
was pretty clear from the beginning that Randy was the crowd favorite, which is
Yeah.
funny. Um, yeah, you want to speak more on that?
Yeah, I thought it was. We were talking about that. I felt like it was really interesting to see that, worldwide, like wrestling or WWE is very popular worldwide, but in America we have our favorites, right? In
Yeah.
America, our favorites typically align with what the company kind of chooses to push
Yeah.
forward, right? Like the company decides that Cody Rhodes is the top guy in part because he's popular with the fans, but then once that happens, the fans eat him up. They love Cody, they're excited for Cody,
Mm-hmm.
and American fans sort of, they appreciate Randy, but it's also sort of that weird thing with American fans where we always want somebody new, right?
Right.
We always, like, if there's a new wrestler versus an old wrestler, we always say the old wrestler should put the new wrestler over,
Right.
right? Like we always want something new, always new, 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 new.
Yeah.
That's what American fans like. But in places where WWE doesn't go very often, they appreciate these legends that they've been watching on TV for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the difference and why Randy Orton seemed to get such a like huge crazy pop even over Cody Rhodes. They've just been watching him. The whole world has been watching Randy Orton for 25 years
Mm-hmm.
wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
and they haven't gotten to see him that many times. So they're just excited to see a legend.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true. And I'm glad that, other countries have different perceptions of who their favorites are. And the WWE marketing works on an American audience, but it doesn't, like, they can't cater who wins to different regions of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I liked that. And we kind of thought while we were watching this, like, isn't it weird that Cody is acting a little heel like? He was really going after Randy's back, and as like Randy's former mentee,
Mm-hmm.
you think he would, and yeah, well, spoiler alert, Cody wins.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards he's like, give it up for Randy. But he was going pretty hard on Randy's back, and that's like a known injury for him. Um, but I mean, that might just be us like thinking about it too much. But um, it is interesting how they set this up, though. I guess this is Randy. Randy has been losing consistently recently to John Cena, and then now Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder what that's we're supposed to think about that.
Yeah, I think it might be. So when Cody was giving that kind of promo after when he was getting, crowned as the King of the Ring, when he was saying, give it up for Randy, they kind of like cut to Randy, and he was just kind of like looking at Cody from the ramp, kind of like a little bit like,
Hurt, like sad.
yeah, like a little bit like, probably maybe just disappointed that he lost,
Yeah.
but also like, they don't usually show wrestlers angry after a loss.
Yeah.
So that could be like planting seeds of,
Mm,
eventually maybe Randy might turn and
yeah.
go against Cody.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that if somebody is hurt, right, and you can exploit that in a fight, like in a real fight, in a real wrestling match or in like a boxing match or any kind of fight, you even if somebody's a good guy, they would still try to use that to their advantage, right? I mean, it's a fight. You should try to win.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that WWE babyfaces work is they wouldn't do that. So it's weird that Cody did that. They might just be trying to show a more ruthless side of Cody. Maybe they don't want him to be so like white meat babyface, like
Yeah.
he'll do ruthless things to kind of win. But it did remind me of a match from a while ago that was like, it was Kevin Owens versus Cody, and Cody had like some kind of injury or exploit, and then we watched this match together, and Kevin didn't want to go out because he was his friend.
Yeah.
And then that same night after that, he turned on Cody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what that was, but I don't think it's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that on that? Should we move on?
Yeah, let's talk about the next match.
Okay. The next match is my Tejana sister Raquel versus Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Why was this match called again? Because Raquel called Rhea what'd she call her?
She called her a Pinta.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they. So this was a street fight match.
Yes.
This is what they called the street fight.
Yeah.
And they went after it. They were hitting each other hard.
Yeah.
They used all kinds of weapons.
Yeah.
I was sports entertained, as they call it.
Really?
I was entertained by this match.
And Roxanne comes out and tries to help Raquel.
Sure, of course.
But Rhea beats both of them, basically, right?
Yeah, Roxanne's interference was not very good. Roxanne, sort of, you came out and then Rhea immediately put a trash can on your head, and you couldn't figure. Yeah, she couldn't figure her way out of this trash can, and she just laid there on the floor.
Yeah.
While Raquel got her ass beat, and then Rhea wins the match.
Yeah.
But Raquel did get some really good hits in. She put Rhea through that part of the table. Uh-huh. She hit Rhea pretty good. But then Rhea whipped her with her belt. It was a really funny match. I liked it.
Yeah.
But they were all wearing the same thing.
Yes. I do love the best part about them being in Saudi Arabia is that the women have to wear full-length outfits. Or more modest, right?
Yeah, so it kind of comes with everybody has to get a new costume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the new costume.
But they all went with full black. All three of these girls, at least, they all went full black.
Yeah.
Which I feel
latex ninjas.
Yeah, but I feel like Rhea should have kept her colors of just being black and purple.
Yeah.
Right? But then everybody else, or Raquel and Roxanne, should have worn something different.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess maybe they didn't all coordinate, or maybe they all, but all their outfits look so similar. It must have been from the same designer.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Rhea is black and purple.
Mm-hmm.
I think Raquel is black and green, maybe, right? Or her colors or maybe black and red. I feel like Roxanne is black and red. Anyway, I'm trying to make them into Powerpuff Girl characters. Maybe.
Yeah, which maybe
that would be cute.
Yeah, maybe you could reach out to them, be like, "Look, you need a color scheme.
You need to stick to your color scheme. Obviously, this person's this color. This person's this color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, Rhea wins, and that's that. Mommy's back on top. Ready for next one?
Yeah.
All right. Next is fan favorite Karrion Kross versus my favorite,
our
favorite,
Sami
Zayn. Yeah. Okay, so I have written down, why does Karrion keep feeding into Sami, saying, "Say it, say you're a liar"? What is he lying about?
I'm not. So what I think Karrion is saying that he's lying about is that Sami says that he could be a world champion, and then Karrion says that, no, you can't. You know that you're not good enough. You're not as good as the top guys, so you're a liar. I don't know why Karrion Kross feels compelled to, it's his responsibility to call out liars. Yeah. I don't know why he thinks he should do that. Maybe his wife is making him do it, because she's always there, over his shoulder.
Yeah.
You like their entrance. I like the entrance too. You want to talk a little bit about their entrance?
I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. Well, I loved it was a little stop motiony, right? It was staticky.
It had a filter on it.
Yeah,
it was in black and white.
And then the whole time it's the wife is singing, right? Or she's talking.
She's chanting something along with the music.
She's singing something along with the music, and then she ends it, and then he comes out, and I liked that because it's the focus was like on her, like
Mm.
walking up into the ring, and you're
Mm.
like, well, where is he? And he's like right behind her, and it's like kind of scary, and I liked that.
Mm.
But did we talk about in our last episode about like why Karrion Kross is back and like he's a fan favorite for some reason right now?
Yeah, we talked about that
Okay.
last episode where, to quickly recap, he's just gotten like an immense amount of support out of nowhere online.
Mm-hmm.
He's entertaining, he's good. I just don't really know where like this stuff from the internet wrestling community has sort of come. Like they saw him do one promo
Yeah.
and now they think he should be world champion. He should be the top guy in the company. So this is WWE responding.
Yeah.
They like directly called it out in the commentary where Michael Cole, who's he's the face announcer, where he was like, he's like, Karrion, I don't know why people see in this psychopath,
Yeah.
why everybody is supporting him.
Yeah.
So they said, here you go, here it is.
Yeah.
I thought that might have been the end of it, but as we'll talk about on Raw, it's not the end of it.
Yeah. But for this night, Sammy does win, which was surprising because we were like, so how are they going to bring back Karrion Kross if he's wrong? Like Sammy does beat him and they're just going to like take him off the roster now, which we'll talk about more later. But I would like to see more Karrion Kross, actually. His intro was pretty good enough for me
I want
to
see the entrance again.
See more, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see what else who else he's going to call a liar.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We have my favorite tree, Solo Sequoia versus Jacob Fatu. And we both kind of decided, okay, not Solo Sequoia, Solo Sikoa.
Mm-hmm.
We both kind of decided that we are a little bored of this storyline, at least at this point, like in Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So would you say a little bit about what happens before we get into the big surprise?
Yeah, so Jacob's looking like he's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like a whatever, like, okay, these guys keep fighting, please do something else, do something different.
Yeah.
So then what you expect to happen is that JC Mateo comes out to help, but then Jacob Fatu is overpowering JC Mateo as well as Solo Sikoa. So then, surprise return, Tonga Loa comes back from his injury.
How long has he been out?
He's been out since War Games.
Oh.
So he's been out since like last November.
Dang.
So he's back now because Tama Tonga is injured now. So Tama Tonga has been able to help Solo, which is why he got Jason Mateo. But now he has Jason Mateo and Tonga Loa is now back. But that's still not enough. Jacob is still better than all three of them.
Yeah.
So then they get another surprise debut from Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga's real life brother, Hikuleo, who is going by in WWE Tala Tonga.
Tala Tonga.
So the brother trio of Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Tala Tonga.
That was pretty good.
And what the funniest part of this is that Michael Cole, he was like trying to say who he is. He was like, "Oh my God, it's Tama Tonga Tonga Loa brother!" Like, and everybody's laughing at him. Like, what the hell is he? He doesn't know anybody's name either. Nobody knows what any of these guys are called.
Yeah.
But the real name that they have chosen for him is Tala Tonga.
Tala Tonga.
So that's not going to confuse anybody.
I love it. I think what I was missing actually, what between like Solo Sikoa and the Usos, like this brotherly battle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they put it in the family again with the Tonga family.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like, well, everybody was like, there's so many Fatus.
Yeah.
Like there's so many Fatus and Anoas, which is Roman Reigns kind of line. There's so many of these guys. There's so many of these guys on the bloodline. They're never gonna run out. But what nobody was talking about was the Tonga bloodline. that is like a whole new bloodline.
Yeah.
So now they have the Fatus, and then they have this Tongaloa Tama Tonga Tala Tonga bloodline, and these two different branches, and this is just exploding into this huge,
Yes.
untrackable feud. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yes.
So we were just getting bored. Now this is the best storyline in wrestling.
Yeah, I love that.
Overnight.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next. So they beat Jacob Fatu because
it's like 4-on-1. There's so many of these guys now. What is Jacob gonna do? Jacob's gonna have
he needs a new family.
Well, what happened with Jimmy? Jimmy helped him on SmackDown, but then Jimmy was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, good point. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
What if Tama Tonga comes back and he switches sides?
Whoa.
That'd be crazy.
I gotta take a brother from each side. Yeah.
Anyways, right. Okay, we can go to the Queen of the Ring.
Queen of the Ring. We have Asuka. She is back. And Jade. What's her last name? Cargill. Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. I'm glad. First time seeing Asuka actually fight. And it was a good battle, but Jade ultimately wins, which I'm really happy for Jade because she has been through it, and the whole time that I've been like watching wrestling, her being in her tag team has always been kind of like number 2 to what was her tag team? Bianca, and then getting injured, by someone who you thought was a friend, who is Naomi. Very disappointing. And she was out for a while. She got they say she got hit by a car or someone ran her over.
They say it, so I don't know why they made it look like that, because that's what I thought for a long time too, but I think they actually said that Naomi just like threw her into the car windshield.
Oh, okay.
She didn't run her over.
Yeah, okay.
But I think they should have just kept it at ran her over.
Yeah, that still sucks. And then as she's been coming back and showing herself as a force individually, and while carrying this like vendetta against Naomi the whole time.
Naomi and Jade is like really the definition of it's on site.
Yeah.
Jade will run, like wherever Naomi is, Jade will run out full speed just to attack her.
And vice versa.
Yeah, well, maybe now that she is the Queen of the Ring and she is the number 1 contender for the Women's Championship, she will be able to move on, but I don't know if Naomi's going to be able to move on.
Yeah, I
with
agree.
Naomi looming with the Money in the Bank contract.
Once Naomi like got caught for what she did to Jade, she went crazy, right? Can we all just acknowledge that? She just went a little...
Yeah, she crashed out.
She took a hard left, yeah. So Jade wins. She's Queen of the Ring. Yeah, let's do the reminder just for myself as well. So once you win King of the Ring / Queen of the Ring, you then get to get a championship match at SummerSlam. So that means you can fight the like main champion of the whole. So who has the main championship right now for women?
So Tiffany. So I think the way it works, I don't know if they said this directly, but I think you just get a number 1 contenders match for the champion on your show.
Oh, okay.
So both Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring are both SmackDown wrestlers, so they'll fight the main SmackDown champions.
Oh, okay.
So it's Tiffany and John Cena.
Yeah. Nice. Very exciting.
Yeah, Tiffany, we were just saying, like, Tiffany and Nia, it's time for Tiffany to have a new opponent.
Yeah.
I'm a little... I think, they clearly want Jade to be a top main event level wrestler. They didn't even try her in the mid-card. So she's going straight to the main event scene. And I think she could be a good rival for Tiffany for a while, but I still can't shake the feeling that the real rivalry is Jade and Naomi.
Right.
And this is just to kind of get this might be like a setup to get the championship to Naomi.
Right. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ready for the main event?
Yeah, the main event, which is not even a match, it's just another promo about.
Oh, right. Another promo.
No, never mind.
No,
I'm gonna
this
get
is
through
Night
this
of
SmackDown. This is
Yeah.
we're talking about Night Champions.
Yeah.
I keep saying the same things in all these spots.
Well, because every episode we have to, because they're doing something awesome.
Yeah.
Every episode, John Cena and CM Punk have been doing something really funny or something really cool every episode. But this is the actual match.
This is the actual match. They're not no more promos.
Yes.
They've had a month of promos.
Yeah.
Now they're finally fighting.
Yeah. But this was a very fun match. So in the moment, I'm very upset, watching the match. So I'm just realizing now, like, how my commentary is while I'm watching. And now afterwards, I'm like, this was really fun, though. I have a lot of emotion while watching it, but it's actually a lot of fun to think about now. So John Cena and CM Punk are having a really good match, pretty equally matched, like, level-wise.
Okay. The ref gets knocked out accidentally by John Cena. John goes for his finisher, which is hitting people with the belt now. It's crazy. I don't know why it's his finisher now. But he goes to get the belt. He's about to do it. The crowd is chanting like, no. He decides not to do it. He drops the belt, decides, I'm going to win this match clean. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe he's just like, I need to beat Punk for real. I don't want another screwy finish. This is one of my best rivals. I want to beat him for real. Whatever the reason is, he doesn't do it. Punk hits him with the GTS, tries to go for the pin, but there's no ref. He's knocked out. So he looks towards like the entrance and he's like, get another ref out here. Get another ref. Yeah. Instead of a ref, our favorite. How would you? I was trying to think of a nickname you have for Seth, but I couldn't think of one.
I don't really have a nickname for him.
Well, you're always so angry with him every time you see him.
Yeah. I don't really have a nickname. I'm just mad at him.
But anyways, Seth Rollins comes out instead. And along with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. And he's just staring menacingly. And then he eventually makes his way to the ring. And then chaos ensues.
Yeah. No, keep going.
Okay. All right. So I might get mixed up on exactly what happened. If you remember, feel free to correct me. But Seth comes out.
Talking to me or to the audience?
To you. The audience can't correct me. This is not live.
Oh, I thought they're, selling the comments. Like, actually, the order was
okay, well, you have the notes. You're supposed to be keeping track of this stuff for us. So then Seth comes out, and then he, knocks out CM Punk, I think.
Yeah, so he comes in, and he hits CM Punk with the briefcase. And he really makes a dent. The briefcase is smushed.
I think he hits him with the briefcase right before the ending. He knocks out. He might have hit him again.
Yeah.
But whatever he does, he knocks out CM Punk, and then he's calling for a ref because he wants to cash in.
Yeah.
His Money in the Bank. So that Charles Robinson comes. And so that ref. I don't think I mentioned this before. It's like a meme. He's done this before.
Yeah.
Where he's come running out.
I know.
So he comes running out like crazy because this is a long ramp for this feeling. He's just running out like crazy.
Yeah.
And then John Cena just knocks him out. He shoulder tackles him. And he's telling himself what the hell are you doing? Mm-hmm. So then they have to attack John Cena. So then his crew attacks John Cena. And then what happens? And then Penta comes out.
Oh, yeah. Penta comes out and after his nemesis, Braun Breaker, I guess. And then Sammy comes out to also fight Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I guess because they still have numbers. No, I guess it's 3 versus 3, but Sammy comes out to help and get into this fight too.
Yeah. Yeah, it all happens so fast at this point. Because I'm like, whose match is this? Why is everybody out here? Mm-hmm. So
then Sammy comes out, and then Bronson and Braun are kind of taken care of. They're out of the picture. So now it's just kind of Cena, Punk, and Seth in the ring. And there's no ref. it's kind of looking like Seth wants to try to cash in, but he hasn't, officially cashed in or anything yet. And then Punk, then Seth hits Punk with the briefcase, and then the ref magically becomes alive again, which allows John Cena to get the pin on Punk.
Yep.
So John retains. Seth is looking upset because he didn't get to cash in like he wanted.
Yeah.
Punk is knocked out and obviously upset that he didn't get to win the championship.
Right. But it was a strong loss. Like, he could have won. Like, he had already done the he already pinned him, but there was no ref around.
Yeah.
And then you could tell multiple times throughout this match that CM Punk had outsmarted John Cena and anticipated a lot of his moves. But, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, it seemed a little, while I do think that a CM Punk championship is imminent, it's going to be coming, he just hasn't dealt with his demons, like the thorn in his side that is Seth. The same way I think that Jade hasn't been able to clear herself of Naomi.
Oh.
I think both of those rivals need to be taken care of before these two actually get the championship.
That's true.
Anyways, that
was Night of Champions.
That was Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Before we move on to Raw, give Night of Champions a quick letter grade. What did you think of this PLE?
This was one of my favorites so far, I think, because I don't know if this podcast is helping, like, me break down, like, and us, like, communicating what the inspiration and the, like, results are of, like, why each of these things are happening. I just really appreciate John Cena and CM Punk's match. I think I knew John Cena was going to win. I really did not want CM Punk to lose, but I think he went down in a really strong way. And I think we're not done with that. That rivalry. It's like you said, CM Punk needs to fight his Seth Rollins demons before he can get back to this other competition.
Right.
But what do you think?
I thought it was good too. I guess I give it a B for what it is, a B minus.
Yeah, I'll give it a B. A solid B.
Solid B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. I liked most of the matches. Even the match that I was kind of like dreading turned out to be really funny in the end with the Solo versus Fatu match.
Yeah.
And yeah, John Cena versus CM Punk was good. I think everybody wishes, that it would just have like a real ending where they actually pick a real winner.
Yeah.
But for what it is, I mean, it's not SummerSlam, it's not Mania. I'm okay with this for now.
Yeah. This is how you keep it spicy,
This is how you keep these things going, you know. Maybe at SummerSlam we'll get like some more definite resolutions to a couple of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Raw. This kind of felt like an episode where not that much happened, but also I think they planted a lot of seeds for some storylines going into SummerSlam.
Yeah.
SummerSlam is going to be, they said like August 3rd, I think, or something like that. August 3rd, August 4th, somewhere around that range. So we're only a month away, and we have Evolution between that, which is the all-women's PLE. So they started creating some kind of matches and storylines for both of those. So take us from the top, baby. How did they start this episode of Raw?
All right, thanks. So we started out with, we started playing this game where we're like, all right, I bet that, who do you bet is going to be the first, come out first, And what did I say? I said Cody Rhodes, and you said Seth Rollins. And it ends up being Rhea Ripley. So, and we decided that I was closer.
You're closer because it was a face. I think maybe in another aspect, maybe I was closer because you guessed a SmackDown wrestler to open Raw, which not really, he's the king of the ring, so not a bad guess. I think my guess was worse. So I would still say maybe you're closer.
Tell us in the comments who's
Tell us
closer.
in the comments who's closer. Who's closer to Rhea Ripley? Is it Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have written down mommy. Rhea Ripley comes out and she's just giving a little.
She's talking about like I'm the fucking I'm
And
mommy.
she kind of is. Yeah, mommy's on top. Monday Night Mommy, she called
Monday
her.
Night Mommy, yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, nobody can beat me. And then Io Sky comes out.
Yeah, you had a really funny comment when Io was giving her promo, which I think Io's promos are getting better, but she was giving a promo and you were like, she's so cute. You were like upset about it.
Yeah, she is really cute. And that's why I love her. And I was mad that I was afraid that mommy was going to like be mean to her. I was like, I love Rhea so much. I love Io so much. And I want them to just be friends. But basically, Io tells Rhea, I want to fight the best of the best at Evolution, right? And I want to fight you at Evolution. And mommy says, just know that you asked for this. And, that's what else is she going to say? She's like, yeah, I'd love to, basically.
She's like, yeah, I literally just said, I want to fight you.
I'm the best.
If you were Io and Adam Pearce said that you could pick your next opponent, who would you want to fight? Who would you pick? I would not pick mommy. She's very strong and tall.
That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I'm not a fighter like that.
You don't have the fighter's mentality. It's hard to think.
Well, if you're trying to prove that you're the best, and you can't keep your title forever, you gotta eventually fight everybody, including the very strong, very tall, very loved wrestlers like Rhea Ripley. So, and I'm excited that this will be a friendly match because from what I heard Rhea Ripley say, that like she has the utmost respect for Io still, and she's like, how do you tell a friend like I'm gonna fight you and I'm gonna beat you? You say like, well, you asked for this. So yeah, anything else on that?
No, I think that's good. I think I like every once in a while when two baby faces fight.
Yeah.
These are the top two babyface women on Raw. So, slam dunk, have them fight at Evolution. If Io has to fight another heel, or Rhea needs to fight a heel if she beats Io, then that can happen at SummerSlam. But I think this will be good for Evolution. The two most popular, I think, women's wrestlers. Unless you say maybe Becky might be more popular than Io, but I don't think so. From fan reaction, these look like the two most popular women on the roster.
Yep, my favorites for sure. Cool. All right, so then we have our first match, actually. This was a very slow Raw. It took us 2 days to watch it.
Yeah, it took a while to kind of get through a lot of this, but I think this was the best match of the night, the one that we're about to talk about.
Yeah, so this was exciting. New Day versus Judgment Day. The Days versus each other. The two tag teams. Who are the names of Judgment Day?
Finn and JD.
Finn and JD and New Day.
Are Xavier Woods and Kofi.
Yeah.
So they fought. This is only New Day's second title defense since they won at Mania.
Yeah.
They haven't been there haven't been any. The only tag team matches on Raw have been with like Seth's group versus Sammy and his partner of the week. They haven't been using the New Day or the Raw tag division at all.
Yeah.
So I guess this is like a good way to mix it up. So they fight against Judgment Day. Judgment Day, used to be like the top heels on Raw. Like they get, like they're very heelish. Finn and JD like lose to like faces almost like every week. But for some reason the crowd was cheering them as baby faces, and they wrestled like baby faces in this match. They had a ton of rallies. They were like appealing to the crowd. Maybe they were feeding off of what the crowd was giving them. But yeah, the heel New Day or the heel Judgment Day were acting as the baby faces in this match, and then they won clean over New Day.
Yeah.
So new tag champions.
Yeah, and this means that Judgment Day now has the men's tag team champions. The what does Dominic have?
The Intercontinental
The
Championship.
Intercontinental Championship and Liv and Raquel's women's tag team
Yeah, so
championship.
every member of Judgment Day is a champion.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool because they lose a whole lot
Yeah.
but now they're all champions.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like another new era of the Judgment Day.
Yeah. Pretty exciting. Well, should we go into more about Judgment Day?
Yeah, so I think just it looks like Roxanne is just gonna take the belt from Liv. She's
Yeah.
just gonna sub in. It's kind of the same way that Naomi subbed in for Jade
Yeah.
with Bianca
Someone's
as the
injured,
tag
so,
team championship.
yeah.
So you just find another friend.
Yeah.
But in order to prove that, they are going to have to fight 3 different teams at Evolution.
Yeah, the gauntlet, right?
Yeah, it's either a gauntlet match from the way that they described it, from what I heard, or it could just be like 4 teams at once, like a fatal 4-way tag team match.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it's gonna be. They weren't very clear about it.
Yeah, all I heard was the GM say that Roxanne is gonna have to prove herself with Raquel against a team from NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, right? So that's gonna be pretty exciting. At Evolution, I've never seen Evolution before. I don't know how like an all women's PLE works.
Yeah,
but
I never watched one before either. I think this is like a newer thing.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, so that's the update on Judgment Day. Should we go back to what's up with Grande Americano?
Yeah, let's talk about El Grande Americano really quick. So Chad Gable is hurt. I don't know if it's real hurt or kayfabe hurt, like fake hurt for the story. Because the way that he got hurt was when Penta did the sacrifice. He did his Cero Miedo, and then he like snapped his arm or whatever.
Ouch.
So now Chad is hurt. It might be a real injury that they're just saying is from that. I don't exactly know what the story is, but a different man was in the Grande Americano costume. He was obviously like noticeably a lot taller than Chad Gable.
Yeah.
And American Made was confused about this. Like Ivy was like, hold on.
We need to talk about this.
What is going on? We need to talk about this.
Who are you?
So she grabbed the Creed brothers and they went off screen. They must have had some kind of conversation, or they must have maybe they found Grande Americano and said, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
So we, I guess, internet. Spoiler alert. Internet.
You don't want to know who it is because the show has not told us who it is. But once you get on the internet, they tell you that it is. What's his name?
You call him Kaiser Roll.
Kaiser Roll, yeah.
So he's been like so like they give you hints, right? Like he's been lurking in the background in some of these American Made segments. And he was like, he watched when Penta snapped Gable's arm. He saw that happen. So maybe he's like, he sees an opportunity that he could be Grande Americano now.
Yeah.
But he's Grande Americano, but he's German. So he's a German guy pretending to be an American guy that's pretending to be a legendary Mexican luchador.
Yeah.
So we're getting pretty, we're really peeling back the onion here. Yeah. We're a few layers deep.
Yeah. Who comes up with this, Great writing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, it's like Inception, but like better.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to our German Grande Americano.
We might have accidentally skipped that.
Oh, yes. So there was another match. Honestly, kind of boring to me, but
not a very good match.
Rusev versus Sheamus. Obviously, well, not obviously, but in case y'all didn't know, I love Sheamus. But Sheamus did not end up on top. this match. Rusev wins.
Rusev won, and then did he keep on attacking Sheamus after, or did the match just end?
I think I walked away by the time.
You're so disgusted with the result.
Whatever.
Yeah, I like Sheamus.
Yeah.
So I'm disappointed.
We'll see if anything happens. We'll let you know if anything happens in the next episode between Rusev or Sheamus, or what the storyline is next. All right, my girls for this one.
Let's just keep going in order. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. All right. So then we have Bailey and Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a number 1 contenders match for Becky's championship.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they would be fighting Becky next for her because Lyra and Becky had fought and Lyra lost the belt to Becky, and then Bailey was supposed to fight Becky for the belt, right? Again. But then Lyra got in the way, right? So this match, they're just fighting it out because they're both annoyed with each other. Really, though, Bailey has every right to be annoyed. Lyra is just being a baby. What's her deal?
Yeah,
she's just being annoying on purpose, I think.
You think so? I think she was trying to help Bailey.
But she, like, I don't understand when they make wrestlers, like, get so, like, caught up, and they know, like, so caught up and they end up disqualifying.
Yeah, it's like it's something that wrestlers should be aware of, that they could get disqualified, but they all suddenly forget that that's possible. Yeah. But yeah, so she screwed her last week.
So now they're just annoyed with each other, and so the GM gives them a match in this episode of Raw. And what happens?
So they supposedly both pin each other at the same time. To me, it looked like only Lyra was pinning Bailey, but they say that they both pinned each other and both of their shoulders were down. Yeah. So, and then the ref just counted anyways, even though both of their shoulders were down. Yeah. And so it was a draw. Interesting. And then they start brawling afterwards.
Yeah. Insert a picture of both of the final, like, move here, if you can.
Yeah, I'll put up a picture of what that looked like.
You be the judge.
You be the judge of, were they actually both pinning each other?
Yeah. Yeah, were they actually both, or were they just their... So if both parties' shoulders are hitting the mat, it's a draw?
I guess so. I mean, if
it's unclear who's pinning who?
Yeah, I guess if it's unclear. So I thought that you're supposed to cover your opponent in some capacity, in some way. Like, you're supposed to have your hand over them. So I guess they could have had their hand over each other, and both of their shoulders were down. But why was Lyra was on top and she was laying on her? Why would she just keep her shoulders down like that? Yeah, doesn't make any sense. But so it's a draw. They attack each other. Did we see how did that scene end? It just like cut away when they were both fighting each other.
Still fighting, maybe.
So I guess like what
to this day.
So that's most likely a setup for like a triple threat match instead of just picking one. So probably they're gonna have a triple threat with Becky.
That would be pretty good. I didn't think about that. Cool. All right. Ready for this?
Main event, which I didn't know. Oh no, we have to talk about that really quick.
Yeah, let's talk about Seth Rollins and LA Knight.
Yeah, so Seth came out and how did it start? Was Seth came out and was talking, or did he interrupt somebody?
This was all you, because I don't remember what happened. I think I walked away.
I think so. Seth was out in the ring for some reason, and then CM Punk came to attack Seth, and then LA Knight interrupted and started attacking Seth too.
Oh, is this when Seth goes in like into the stands?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I know what happens. Listen, guys. So, yeah, Seth is talking in the ring. CM Punk comes out and just starts like hammering on him. And then Seth gets away because I think somebody comes in and stops CM Punk.
I think it's like maybe like yeah they grab him or something, or I think yeah like Seth just kind of slithers away and goes up.
Goes up into the
Yeah.
stairs of like the
Mm-hmm.
the crowd, I
Yeah, the
guess.
audience.
The audience. And so, and you see, obviously, LA Knight
Mm-hmm.
with his glasses
Mm-hmm.
and like popcorn. And he comes and like hits him with a bunch of popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
He hits Seth with a bunch of popcorn. And then they start tumbling into the concession stands, like the back
Mm-hmm.
of the arena. The bartender lady's like filming with
Yeah,
her
artist just like
phone.
recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a real fight. I mean, that's pretty, I would record too.
Wow.
And then Seth gets away. So somehow LA Knight is inserting himself in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on that, or
So they have so they announced that LA Knight is going to get a chance to fight Seth at Saturday Night's main event.
because of that?
Yeah, because of that.
All right.
But they have like later on in the show, they have like this segment where Jackie is like interviewing. She's like trying to interview CM Punk, and then he's like, "Hold on, Jackie," and then he goes up, and then LA Knight's just standing there, and he goes up to LA Knight, and then he's like, "What the hell is that? What are you doing? Like, leave him for me." And then LA Knight, you know, LA Knight, like sometimes his like little like jokes and his quips hit, and sometimes they just don't. I feel like he starts talking without knowing what he's gonna say. Sometimes, usually it goes good, but he just kind of said like some nonsense, like, "Well, what are you gonna do if you like, you know?" It just says something like that.
Yeah.
And then I just thought it was funny. I just saw like a funny tweet about it,
That's
and yeah, just kind of made me laugh. But
yeah,
yeah, it looks
I love
like
LA Knight.
yeah. So multiple people are involved with this set. Like CM Punk hates Seth, Sammy hates Seth, LA Knight hates Seth.
I hate Seth.
We hate Seth.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of Seth, his henchmen are in the main event of Raw, and they're fighting yet again Sami Zayn, this time with Penta, because Penta, we forgot to mention, is also fighting Seth.
Well, Penta's fighting Braun.
Yeah, Penta is more focused on Braun and Bronson, and I guess I would say Sammy is more focused on Braun and Bronson.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. But I can see them making their like stepping up the ladder and all. Like they could all be in a fight against Seth.
Yeah. So the added kind of extra interesting ripple to this match is that Sammy is hurt because earlier in the night he is attacked by Karrion Kross.
Oh yeah, and he calls him again a liar.
He's like, "Admit it." You're like, he was like, he just goes, "Admit it," and then you're like, "Admit what? What is he on?" I'm like, that he's a liar, I guess.
Yeah.
So Karrion attacks him, and then he's like so enraged that like nobody can get Karrion Kross off of him. He's hitting him with a lead pipe, which why are lead pipes just around so much in this universe? But he's like attacking Sammy with a lead pipe, hitting him in his ribs, and then nobody can get him off until Karrion Kross's wife appears, and she's like, "Stop!" And he's like, "Okay."
Really?
Yeah, she has like some kind of like she can like whisper. She has like some kind of powers to make him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think she's controlling him
Yeah,
somehow.
that would go along with their intro. Like,
Yeah.
She like summons him.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know what's going on with that. They just have some kind of weird. It's like their kink or something. That's how they operate. I don't know.
But anyway.
Yeah, so Sammy he has his ribs taped up, and then right before the match, Penta comes up to Sammy back. And Sammy's like dead. He's like dead backstage, and then Penta comes and he's like, "Sammy, are you sure you want to fight?" And then Sammy goes, "Cero miedo," and then he walks out. Like, okay, enough.
Okay, enough. Yeah, and then we need to add in the picture of them doing their little dance.
Yeah. Sammy does his dance, and then they both do like a really good in sync suicide dive out of the ring. That was a cool moment.
That was really cool.
So they have a match. Then because Sammy is hurt, Braun and Bronson go over, and then they keep attacking Sammy and Penta after the match. So then Jey Uso comes out to make the save.
Yeah.
It's just a never.
Happen.
Yeah.
Anybody can. they're doing a good job of keeping us on our toes. I'm
Mm,
liking the interferences of
mm,
people. You're like, wait, I totally forgot about them, you know?
mm.
Or like, where has he been? He's coming out now. I like that.
Yeah, I don't. It's getting kind of old. Where the one part that's getting kind of old to me is that the heels always come out and interfere during the match when they can make a difference, and then the baby faces don't come out until like
Yeah,
after the match has already been like
yeah,
why didn't Jay come out to help before?
yeah.
Because he's a good guy. He doesn't want to cheat.
And why didn't he come and help Jacob Fatu earlier?
Yeah, why didn't anybody help Fatu? Why is Sammy teaming up with Penta, who's basically a rando, instead of Jey Uso teaming up with Sammy, who's like his best friend? Why didn't Jay help Sammy when he was getting attacked by Karrion Kross?
Yeah. Well, that's the end of Raw.
Hmm.
Anything else we should talk about?
I think we're all caught up. We're like
Yeah.
11 days away from Evolution,
Um,
so they have to put in more matches to it. I think like they
mhm.
need more matches for that.
Well, I think there's a lot going on in NXT that we don't know about because we're not
Yeah,
watching
there's an
that.
NXT Championship match coming probably. I saw the poster and it had like almost like all the women on the roster on it.
Oh.
So I think that they're gonna do like a battle royal with all the women that aren't in singles matches.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll watch that. Maybe it'll be our first time like even seeing like anybody in NXT.
Yeah.
We only see like when they get called up to the main roster, but we don't really watch
Valerie
before that.
Bucket. Valerie Bucket?
Stephanie,
Stephanie. Yeah.
who's Valerie?
I don't know.
Must be somebody.
Somebody from work.
Somebody from work. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So now this weekend we're gonna watch next SmackDown and Raw, and then in preparation for Evolution, like you said, right?
Yeah. We'll come back. Maybe hopefully we'll do an episode next week, but if not, we'll definitely at least have one for Evolution. Because
Yeah, yeah,
it's gonna be both of our first time watching it, so I'm just kind of excited to see what happens.
yeah, yeah. That'll be fun.
Okay, well, thank y'all for watching the Punch It podcast. We were talking before this. We need like a stand name for this podcast.
Right.
So do you have one off the top of your head?
No.
I think maybe a good name would be, it kind of sounds almost derogatory a little bit, but punching bags. What's up, punching bags?
Yeah, or fruit punch.
Fruit punch? I don't know about fruit punch.
Fruity punches. No. Uh,
Do you guys
punch bunch.
the punch bunch? Okay, vote in the comments.
Yeah.
Comment with what your choice is. Maybe we could do a poll. We could do a
Yeah.
poll on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to be called the punching bags or the punch bunch?
Yeah. Or other ideas too. I think something that I think I'd like us to work up to too is doing this live
Mm-hmm.
on, like, if we could ever get to YouTube live or to TikTok live, so we can answer questions real time to see if, like, are we explaining things in a way that is like easy to understand for some people that don't watch Raw as often as we do, or WWE as often as we do. So if you have any questions like that from this podcast, or just like the lore or what's the history of WWE, put them in the comments and we'll do what we can to answer it and maybe address it in the next video.
Okay.
Okay.
With that being said, see you later, punch bunch / punching bags, whichever you decide.
Or anything else. Give us some other ideas.
Yeah. We'll see y'all next time. Punch it.